Welcome to Office Origami. My name's Kevin Keeler, and I am joined by Tim Banting. And we wanted to share a number of tips and tricks to help you get more out of Office 365. Office 365 has a tremendous amount of capabilities, and whether you're an IT professional and you want to understand some additional capabilities that you may want to pass along to your end user community, or if you're an end user and just want to get more out of the features and functions of Office 365, then Office Origami is for you. Before I dive into the first tip, let me just throw it over to you, Tim, and why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Kevin. Pleasure to be here. So my name's Tim Banting. I'm the team leader of our digital workplace team here at Omdia. So I've been looking at unifying communications for far too long. It feels like decades. But what surprises me is how I've stumbled across a lot of these tips by accident, and hopefully, by the end of today, we'll share some really good tips for end users on how to get the best out of their investments.
Well, thanks, Tim. And I didn't really say, but I'm the co-founder of Enable UC, and we help organizations get the most out of the Microsoft ecosystem, end user organizations as well as vendors. So let me share some content, and we'll take you through a few quick tips for this episode. So today we're going to take a look at Outlook. People live in Outlook. I guess maybe now they're living in Microsoft Teams, but still Outlook plays a key role. And one of the things that I think we're all feeling is we have lots and lots of meetings, and sometimes too many meetings, and people complain about back-to-back meetings. And if that's one of the things that you're feeling, here is a great tip for you, but also for the members of your team. So inside of Outlook, if you pick File, Options, and then click on Calendar, it will bring up the dialog box that's shown by number 1. And the great thing here is if you check the box, and on the right-hand side of the slide by number 2, you see that there's a checkbox that says shorten appointments and meetings. And this is really the secret. If you check off that box, then you can choose either to end your meetings early, and by default, it shortens 30-minute meetings by 5 minutes, and anything over an hour, so 60 minutes or longer, it shortens it by 10 minutes. So a 60-minute meeting becomes 50 minutes. So, and then you have 2 choices, and they just recently added the second choice. So the first choice by number 3 is you can end early. So now when you, by default, book a half an hour meeting, it becomes 25 minutes, and that's great. That gives people time to go and, a bio break or stand up and stretch their legs before probably their next meeting. But an even better option, I would suggest, is to choose what I've shown there by number 3, start late, because this means that let's say you had a 9 o'clock meeting, it would then start at 9:05, for example, which means that the meeting before you're actually helping out, let's say the meeting person before you didn't know this tip and hadn't set this option in Outlook, so they went right up to 9 o'clock. Now your participants are going to have that 5 minutes before your meeting starts. And one of the things I found is even when you end meetings early, because people are so accustomed to going to the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour, your meeting ends. And even on Teams where it gives you the warning, people just go and they use up all available time. So, for me, I pick shorten and I say start late, and I go with the defaults of 5 and 10 minutes. And this is, people are happy that I've done this, and it gives people a break during the day. So that's my tip to optimizing Outlook meetings. And with that, Tim, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you're going to share, I believe, some other things with Outlook.
Thank you, Kevin. That's a great tip, especially in these days where we seem to have endless back-to-back meetings. So, yeah, I'm really
Absolutely.
grateful for that. I don't know if I can boil a kettle in 5 minutes, but I'll certainly try when I'm doing my next meeting. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I've stumbled by accident. So, while I was clicking and dragging an email into what I thought was my folder, I dragged it into the little icons at the bottom of Outlook. So, this is really quite a handy one. Um, you can actually click and drag an email and then put it into the little icons in the bottom left-hand corner of your Outlook. And that can be contacts, tasks, or appointments. So by clicking and dragging the email and then putting it over one of those icons, you get a plus sign. Now, when you release your mouse button, it'll then spring up another window. And if that's tasks, for example, you'll get a task pane and you can set the start date, the end date, etc. If it's the contact pane, it will just fill in your email contact details. And if it's a calendar, you can actually take an email and convert that into a calendar request. So, or a calendar appointment rather.
Mm.
So stumbled across it by accident, but it's really good. I've had a number of friends, family and colleagues that have opened up a new contact and cut and paste emails from a email into the contacts, or started cutting and pasting an appointment from an email. But all you have to do here is just click and drag, wait until it goes into a little plus sign, and then drop it over the task calendar task calendar or contacts icons in the bottom left hand side, and it will create that automatically for you. So one that stumbled across by accident, but has certainly made life a lot more easier for me.
Well, yeah, that's a great tip, Tim. And I have to say, I am one of those people that have cut and paste until earlier today when I was testing this because you shared this tip with me. So, yeah, this and I think this is the whole point of this Office Origami series is that there is a tremendous amount of latent capability that none of us know about.